Welcome to Cashflow Diary, a podcast where we discuss business, money, real estate, and the sharing economy. As a full-time real estate investor, entrepreneur, and all-around problem solver, I have had the privilege of developing individuals into powerful business owners. And today, the focus turns towards you. Our mission is to help you build your real estate empire by leveraging strategies to grow yourself, your mind, and your wallet. Let's get started.
Get rich quick. Tell me what comes to your mind, because this really matters, right? This really matters. And you might not have considered it, but I'm sharing it with you because when it comes to short-term rentals, how you think about this phrase will affect your ability to be successful at growing a big enough short-term rental portfolio that is sustainable and that actually supports your lifestyle. So, are any of these positive at all? The words that we're all using here, the way that we're using them is not in a positive context, but I've got to teach you something. I have to. I must. Otherwise, you might risk missing something that's really great for you. So, did you realize we could all look at an objective fact, and because of how we frame that fact, because of how I choose to frame a fact, that determines whether I believe that fact is positive or negative. So what's one of the things we said? You said scam. Got it. So the fact is that you're saying get rich quick. Those words bring up the word scam for you. So for some of you, that word scam has a meaning in which what you paid for or what you wanted, what you did not get, the outcome you were looking for, even though you were promised it, paid for it, you did everything that you were supposed to do. So I can also look at this word scam and think it means something like this: silently creating a millionaire. S-D-A-M, scam. I can look at it and think it's that. That's silently, or you can put secretly, actually. Either way. But I can also look at scam and think it means still confused about money. Now, depending on how I view it, that has an outcome or related to it. So how I view a thing matters. So here's my point. When you have a fact, objective fact, you can frame it. We all do. You're human. And then what we do is we use our eyes. So here's your eyes here. Okay, some of you, there you go. And you got a mouth, right? So we use our eyes. And as we're looking at that fact, what ends up happening is we develop a focus, but it's based upon this frame. So just because I said words, and again, I said words intentionally, the fact is we're looking at these words, get rich quick. Depending on your framing, you are now focused on whether that's a positive or negative thing. And I submit that by the time I'm done, many of you will switch from the negative to the positive because you'll understand a different frame for these words. So, but as a human, this is what happens. What happens is that you should develop a focus. And when that focus gets developed, what happens is that we believe. You, me, we as humans, we are meaning-making machines. Nothing has any meaning except the meaning you and I give it. That is what I am saying. Because depending on the meaning you are assigning to these things, you either end up in a space of faith or a space of doubt. Many people believe that doubt is somehow meaning no faith. No, it's both. Both express belief strongly. One person's believing in a positive outcome and the other's believing in a negative outcome. The question becomes is, which one do you believe more? Do you believe more in the negative outcome? Here's why that's important. Is because what happens is when you and I hold this belief, that belief eventually manifests itself as a feeling. That feeling takes us one of two places. You've got the feeling, but you can go one of two places with this feeling. If you, on the positive side of life, that feeling could create anticipation, AKA excitement. You are ready because you're looking forward to this outcome. But on the other side, what you've got is anxiety. Okay, you've got anxiety and dread. So let me say this differently. Based upon your belief around this phrase, get rich quick, you're focused on either the positive and or negative side of it. Let me say why I'm saying. Everything has at least two sides. It's the law of polarity. If there's a negative side, there's also a positive side to it. You have never in your entire life seen a one-sided piece of bread, because it doesn't exist. You've never in your entire life seen a one-sided sheet of paper. There's never been a one-sided story, right? Not a one-sided story. There's not a one-sided relationship. There's not a one-sided anything, okay? It's got two sides. The positive, there's a positive as well as a negative side of all of the things. So if you were focused on the negative side of get rich quick, it might inspire you to ask, what's the positive side? We're getting to that. But what I want you to see is based upon what you believe, not me. What you believe, you are going to act in accordance with what you believe. You and I as human beings cannot act consistently, that is inconsistent with who we believe ourselves to be. Let me say that again. You, me, all of us cannot act consistently, meaning you cannot perform over a sustained period of time in a manner that is inconsistent with who you believe yourself to be. Therefore, if you do not believe that you, not me, you have the ability, could one day have a collection of assets that produce enough income to replace your current active income at your job, that is where we are. Most of you may not have thought about it, but you're working on trying to believe, or some of you are looking for more evidence of doubt. Either way it goes, you're going to leave here with more faith. You're welcome. You're going to either believe strongly more in your doubt or your faith. My job is to hopefully help you see how you are believing is currently affecting all of the outcomes that you currently have that you call your life experience. That is what I'm going to do. Now, we're going to talk about that as I keep going here. You're like, what does this have to do with short-term rentals? Everything, but follow me. Because what you believe about get rich quick either leads you to a point of faith and anticipation and excitement, or possibly anxiety and dread. And I don't know about you, but when I have anxiety and dread, I want to stay away from it. But when I have anticipation and excitement, like, Christmas Eve to Christmas morning when you're a kid, or when your birthday for some of you, or Friday for some of you, or payday, or all the things, you have anticipation. You're looking forward to it because, see, there are things that you have learned to do over time, keywords, over time, that you used to not be good at. So it's not about being good at it from the beginning. In fact, there are many times you failed. You used to be horrible at playing the piano, but today you're good. You used to be horrible at singing, but now you're great. You used to be horrible at, being a father, being a friend, being in fellowship with other people, but now you're better. You have improved, right? And the concept of doing any of those things changes and now you have positive associations with that thing. It's an objective fact. We all have friends. Now, when I said the word friends, based upon your focus and framing, you either went to faith or doubt. But that has nothing to do with the fact that some people have some of the greatest friends on the planet. So nonetheless, but how you think about that word is what is affecting your actions. right? All of this creates a feeling. So how you feel about this is based upon a belief that you decide, and this is where the magic is that you and I, we get the privilege of deciding. So we get to decide what that is. Now, let me tell you why I did this, because here's the thing. Right now, I'm gonna put up 3 options, and they're all gonna be very similar. And all I want you to do, here's what we're doing. We're defining rich with numbers. You tell me defining rich with numbers. You tell me which of these 3 individuals is rich. I'm going to give you 3 different examples right now, and you tell me your definition, not mine, okay? So, person number 1 earns $1 million over 40 years, which is the same as $25,000 a year. Person number 2 earns $1 million over 10 years, which is the same as $100,000 a year. Person number 3 earns $1 million. They do that over 12 months, which is the same as $1 million a year. So you type in the chat, which person is rich? Number 1, number 2, number 3. Your choice. You tell me which one is rich. Which one is rich? Number 1, number 2, number 3. We're only talking about money. No, I'm not talking about all. I understand that there are other things in life other than money. I need you to hear me right now because we're talking about money. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Which is it? All I want to do is help you understand, help you break some belief patterns that are keeping you stuck, because there's a big piece to having an asset or having assets that this will begin to unlock. That number 3, so if number 3, if we're all in agreement that this is the person that is rich, the difference between these 2 individuals, this person, number 2, is richer than the other one by a factor of 4. Do you see that? So person 2 is 4 times richer than number 1. And what's interesting is that person number 3 is 10 times richer than person number 2. But person number 3 is also 40 times richer than person number 1. So first of all, it's relative, but what is it relative to? What is different about each of these examples? 40 years, 10 years, 12 months. Isn't 12 months shorter than 10 years or 40? So can't I say that this is fast, or at least faster than this one or this one? Now, do you remember the words that we were just talking about? We were just talking about getting rich quick. Getting rich quick. That was the phrase, get rich quick. Now, based upon what you believe about getting rich quick, you will act in accordance to that. And here's what the math, the numbers, what you just said. The only person of those 3 that's rich is the one who got the $1 million the fastest. First of all, wealth, riches, like speed. Love it, 100%. Everybody wants their problem solved quickly, okay? And if you learn and to develop systems that can solve people's problems quickly, guess what? You also can earn money fast, or faster than what you are used to. But based upon what you believe regarding those 3 words in that order, you will act accordingly. If you think that getting rich quick has to be a scam or MLM or something that you consider hold as negative because you don't want to be associated with anything negative, because none of us do, because you don't want to be associated with anything negative, understand there's nothing I could do. There's no evidence I can give you. There's no testimonial I could share. There's no dollar amount that I could document that would change your belief. It's you have to change it.
Thank you for tuning in to the Cashflow Diary podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave a rating and a review. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, head over to CashFlowDiary.com to sign up for our email list, as well as check out all the links and resources in the show notes. Thank you again. Until next time.